Okay, I've been asked by a reader at ATP for some help with Adobe Photoshop Elements 6. She's actually downloaded the trial version and is wondering if it's maybe a bit too complicated for her to start with. Now, my initial reply was that any program you start to learn from scratch is going to appear complicated at first. I found the same with Photoshop 7 when I first started going digital, and Elements 6 is by no means any different. They all have a steep learning curve, but Element 6 is perfect in the way that once you get the hang of it, it's a natural progression to move up to Photoshop CS, CS2, CS3 and so on. So once you learn the basics, you'll actually see that the two programs, the simple Photoshop Element 6 and Photoshop CS and the more professional suites, are actually very similar indeed. Now, one of the images that the young lady has a problem with is a picture of a friend's young baby girl who actually has eczema, and also on the image she has quite a yellow nose. Now, she's asked me how this can be changed and altered using Photoshop Elements 6. I'm actually going to use Elements 4, which is an older version, which means that if you wanted to buy a cheaper version you can do, but all the functions in Elements 4 are also available in Elements 5 and 6, so you can just work it out from there. Now, first of all, what we need to do is just to open the photo that I'm going to be looking at, and I'm going to take this one because it's a nice shot of the girl, and you can see when it opens what the young lady was talking about. The nose is quite yellow and there's also some eczema on the cheeks. Now, to make this look quite normal, it's fairly straightforward, and I'm going to show you first of all how to remove the colour or to replace the colour and change the overall cast, and then we're going to look at just removing this eczema. Obviously eczema is something that hopefully the young girl will grow out of, so I don't mind altering it so much. I do mind altering things where it's permanent disfigurements, that kind of thing, because I think it's a little bit fake, but in this case I quite like working on this kind of image because it is a nice shot. It's a very pretty girl. So let's start with the coloration on the nose. What we need to do first is go into up the top here along the options here. We've got one called Enhance. So if we go into there, go down to Adjust Colour, because that's what we're doing, and then Replace Colour. Fairly simple, straightforward. What we're doing here, there's two sections. There's the selection you're making, so you're picking a part of the face to change, and then the second bit at the bottom here is the replacement colour you want to give the amended part of the face. So first of all, if I click on the colour here, click on the colour that I want to change, and then click OK, you can see it's actually just selected the nose colour there. Now you can adjust the strength of this with what's called fuzziness here, so you can go out or in, picking however much you want to change. Now I'm going to take it a little bit more just so it blends in with the rest of the face to about there. So we've picked the colour we want to change by using this selection here. Now this bottom bit is going to let the image know what we actually want. So if I click on the result here and then click on some skin fairly close to the nose that I would like the colour changed to, you can see the nose automatically changes colour to match the rest of the face. Now I'm quite happy with that, funnily enough, straight away. So if I click OK, you can see by clicking on and off the preview the difference that's made already to the nose. So already it's had a vast effect on that. So if we click OK, simply enough, the first bit's done. So just to recap, we went into Enhance, Adjust Colour, Replace Colour. This first section here picked the area we wanted to change. The second bit, by clicking on the result, and we can actually select an area that we want to change that colour to, so it's as simple as that. Okay, the next section we want to actually get rid of or lose some of this eczema on the face, some of the coloration. So if we go into these two brushes here, are actually the healing brush. These are the best tools available on Photoshop, any Photoshop Elements or the CS2, 3, that kind of thing. The first one is a kind of smart tool. I don't use it so much, I like to know what I'm doing, so I'm going to use this one here, which is just the healing brush. So we click on that, I'm going to select a fuzzy diameter, fuzzy brush. You can see here as I change this, if you look at this area here, the hardness changes. Now I want it quite fuzzy so it blends in with the rest of the face, so if we set that hardness right down to 0, and then we want a reasonably sized diameter, let's have a look, that's about right to work on the face there. So I've got a fuzzy brush of that diameter you can see on the screen, and now we just need to make sure that's okay. Okay, to use this tool you have to use the Alt key and left click on the mouse. Now I'll give you an example of what I mean to show you the extreme. If I hover the cursor over the girl's eye, press Alt, you get a target which shows you the target you're taking information from, and right click, that now selects that area. Take my finger off the Alt key and then I move the cursor down here, left click on the mouse, and you can see it starts painting that area. Now unlike the clone tool where it would normally stay that sharp, if I release the mouse you can see it blends it more. Now that's obviously very silly, but I'm just showing you an example of how it works. So if I do Control Z, get rid of that, what we're actually doing is going to zoom in on these areas of the skin here, and we're going to Alt on an area of skin which we know is good. So click Alt, that's the target, so left click, and I've selected that area which I'm going to paint from. Now I go over to the area I want to clear and just start painting, and you can actually see a small plus sign where it's taking the information from. So if I just keep dabbing away using the same area, you can see it's clearing up the skin using the target skin from the left hand side of the face. I like to keep taking different readings as I work around. This is something that you learn as you go, but if I take readings from each part of the face I'm working on, you can see slowly it will start to work on the face. This can be quite time consuming, but always remember that you don't really want a face that's too smooth because it will look unreal. So if you take your target from an area with elements of the skin that are going to show up, minor fluctuations in the indentations, that kind of thing, it's going to look not too abnormal. Because like I said, if it's too smooth it looks as though it's been photoshopped. But we'll just keep working on this to blend it in a bit more. Take areas from as close as you can to the area you're actually working on. Now bear in mind I'm doing this fairly quick for purposes of the tutorial, as always. So let's just do that, and then I'm going to do these bits around by the lip. If I take the target from there, click there, that bit's gone. Same here, and so on. It's fairly easy to do, and we're just going to work our way around all the parts of the face that need changing. Here, a bit of drool on the face, let's get rid of that. So target, left click, and just paint away until it's gone. Now we're going to work on all these bits just to tidy up the skin. A little bit there, a bit of the lip. Take the target from there, move along. Target from there, move along. Let's just zoom right in. The scroll wheel on the on your mouse will actually scroll in quite nicely, so it's always a good one to use. I'm going to change the nose here a little bit as well, just to help the little girl out. So I'm going to reduce the diameter of the brush to a smaller one, and then just tidy up that area there, and also this bit around the nose. It's well worth going in close because when you zoom out you can actually see quite a big difference. Some people don't like to go too detailed, but I do. I go right in and make sure everything's really neat and changed, and just clear up all of these blemishes, that kind of thing. So look, there we go. So that side of the face is now pretty much done. We can further do it and tweak it and that kind of thing, but I'm quite happy with that. And this side of the face is a bit more problematic. Now the reason I started with this side is because I've now got a clean area of skin that I can use as a target to help this side. So let's make the brush slightly bigger, about that size to start with. Take my target from the good side of the face, zoom in here, and then just work on that side just to get a rough start for the face, to get the worst bits out. Now what I'm going to do is reduce the brush size again and just take the target from this skin here just to close up the edges and everything. Now you can see what I'm doing. There's a spot there. I'll take the target from close by to get the same skin coloration and just click on it and it's gone. Same here, take the target from here, left click on the mouse, and it starts to work on those. Get rid of this scar, click along. Now I'm going to pause the video while I just finish this bit off because it does take some time, but you can get the general idea. You basically Alt to get the target, left click to select the target, move the mouse to where you want to change, and then just start painting. So I'm going to finish this off and then come back to you. Okay, so there we go. The rest of the face is now done, and the great thing about the healing brush is that it blends the colours in quite nicely, as opposed to the clone brush, which clones quite harshly. This, you can see it's left a really good sort of skin tone all over the face now, and it's pretty much there. Now one last thing I'm going to do is just quickly change the skin tones, but before I do that, let's just recap on that. We've got two brushes up here that we can use. One is the spot healing brush, which is it's kind of an intelligent spot healing brush. It's quite new. I don't use it so much because I like more control, so I use the healing brush tool set with a fuzzy hardness, so put the hardness down to 0% so you get a good feathered brush, and the diameter obviously varies depending on what you're working on the face. So, and then to actually get them working, if you remember, we use Alt to get the target symbol up, left click to select the area we're going to be taking the data from, and then move the cursor and left click again to start painting. Okay, so it's that easy to use the tool. Now the photo's pretty good now, it's got almost to the point where I'm quite happy with it. One last thing, there is a general yellow cast over the photo, so I'm just going to go into the Enhance menu again. We're going to go down to Adjust Colour again, and then we're going to use the Remove Colour Cast. Now what this does is brings up a dialog box here to explain a bit more about it. I'm just going to click OK here, because what you're going to do is use this eyedropper tool to select a grey area. It's like when you're taking photos, you use a grey card to get your white balance right. So let's go into that again, Adjust Colour, Remove Colour Cast, and we're just going to pop the eyedropper over a part of the image that's neutral, white, that kind of thing. Let's try the eye, that's gone too red. I found this bit inside the ear here, there's a little bit of grey. If I click on that, it's kind of neutralised the image and flattened down the colours, got rid of the yellow cast, the orange cast, and it gives you a kind of good template to work on. So I'll click OK, and that is a pretty good image based on taking out the colour cast, and you can actually warm that up if you want to, but for me that's quite nice as it stands. So basically that's it. We've cleared the eczema, we've reduced the colour on the nose, and that image now looks like a baby without eczema, if you like. But I'm going to show you by saving this as not the original file, but as A as opposed to Grace, and we're going to save that full resolution. So an easy way of actually showing you the difference between the two. If I now open up both images and scroll to and from them, you'll see that the difference I've made. Let's have a look. So this is the original photo. You can see the eczema and the yellow nose. Let's open it in ACDC there. So you can see here what the image was like, and you can see there an image I worked on earlier. Let's have a look. There's the one we just worked on. So you can see by flicking between the two, we've lost that harsh colour on the nose, we've lost all the eczema around the face, and you can see it's made a huge difference. So that's basically a very quick and easy way using Photoshop Elements 4, 5 or 6 to actually remove blemishes and skin coloration and colour casts, red or yellow, from skin tones. So basically that's it. I hope it helps, and thanks very much.